I'm here with the guys of The Living. I'll just get you all to introduce your name and the role you had on the film.
My name is Snyder. I was a producer of The Living.
My name is Alexander Kasudik. I was director of photography.
My name is Bryan. I was the writer, director, and the producer on the film.
Okay, so we'll start with the writer. Tell us a little bit about the story.
The Living is a rescue noir film about a guy who hires an ex-con to kill his sister's abusive husband. It's a sort of tight, taut, tense thriller and with a lot of dramatic elements.
Yep. Now, I have a question. So it comes out of a night of drinking where he blacks out and a terrible thing happens and he wakes up not remembering any of it. Mm-hmm. How much of it was inspired by true events?
None. But I think that you have to use, as a writer, you have to sort of use your most base sort of fears and hopes and things like that. So, in the sense of that, it all comes from a real place. But none of the events are actually practically taken from my life anyway.
Well, maybe not the events of what happened, but the whole concept of blacking out after a night of drinking.
Yeah, I mean that certainly is a thing that I don't get blackout drunk that frequently.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time I was blackout drunk. That having been said, it would be part of the beginning of it was that a horrifying concept to me is to wake up after being blackout drunk to find that you've hurt somebody you love, which. For me, that I think is the scariest thing because there's almost no way, if you can't remember an act, there's almost no way to come to terms with it. And so that was a large part of the jumping off point, absolutely.
Yeah. So who came on board next?
I feel like we were all on board the whole time before Jack even,
decided that this was
decided we were going to do
okay.
this. Yeah,
so you knew you were making a film together?
Yeah,
but
more than likely. Jack and I worked together in the past, and Jack and John were already working at the time together. So, yeah, we knew that everybody was doing that.
Yep. So I read that you've said this is most likely the first on-location film to be filmed on the Blackmagic.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, feature film.
Feature film.
Yes, because I think right afterwards, Blackmagic took an interest in us. Quite a big interest that we didn't see really coming, and we then realized that we were one of the only ones that are doing it. There's a lot of shorts being filmed at the time, but no feature films.
What Alex mentioned there is that Blackmagic Cinema Camera company that we use the camera for selected us as their sort of East Coast representation as filmmakers. So we did a conference for them, interviews and stuff like that. So we're very lucky to be picked to be the representative of the brand, and it's a really great little camera.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I have a question for you as the producer. I noticed that there's a lot of crew involved and a lot of cast. Was this sort of the biggest project in that term that you've been involved with? And if so, what were some challenges that you faced with that?
Well, this was the first feature that we shot for our production company that Jack and I are partners on, and also our other producer, Laura DuBois. And so in terms of crew, we had a core kind of group of people coming from New York City, but we hired a lot of people locally. So while we were there for location scouting, at the end of the day, we'd meet people in a local Starbucks and interview them and see if they would work for crew. In terms of cast, we did something similar as well. All of our principal cast members flew in from LA. We got a couple kind of friends who are actors and work in New York City to come as well. And then once again, we filled the spaces with local people. Kept costs down, which was an important thing for us, but also give a more authentic feel to the people both on scene and also people who know the community and can kind of help us out since we were new to it.
Yeah, so you're based in LA?
We're based in New York.
In New York, and where did you film?
In Schuylkill County and Berks County, Pennsylvania.
And how did you scout those locations?
Well, Jack, one of his friends who used to work with Ashley Pishock, had made a film in the area, and he'd seen it, and they kept the budget very low, and there were a lot of things that she was able to bring to the table. She was our line producer and also our co-exec producer. So once we saw that we could do that there, between shooting in New York City and shooting there, the numbers are totally different. To keep the costs low, that was where we selected, and it really worked out for us in that way.
Yeah. A question for both of you, how you both work together. How does that work with this dynamic?
Oh, that's we work very close together on this. I mean, we probably, I probably worked more with Alex. That's not to say that Alex and I did the most work, but I probably worked directly with Alex more than anybody else because too much of our job is working together on something, and so much other people's jobs is okay, they go off and do that and then come back. But with the cinematography, we really, from the early on, figured out a color palette we wanted to be in, figured out the feel. We really had to we got on the same page very quickly with what we wanted to look like. And so it would be, a combination of Alex sort of saying, we got this, this, and this. And also he's very much involved in the design, or the production design conversations. I kind of see, or we kind of both see production design and cinematography as being very much linked.
Yeah.
And you can't just have one over here, one over there. So we started planning probably in December, and the shoot was in April. So we really worked out everything. So by the time we got to set, even if it was a location we'd never seen before, we were kind of like, well, okay, we put the camera here, we do dolly here, do this there. And we kind of knew exactly what we were going for and what we were trying to get from the beginning.
Yep, and Alex, as a DOP, is that his phone is ringing?
Sorry.
Oh no, this is all on camera. Aren't you the person that would get the most annoyed if someone's phone went off on set?
No. That
You would be?
Well, yeah, probably him.
So, being involved early on in the process, is that a more ideal way of working
Absolutely.
than if you just come on board?
Absolutely. There's nothing I hate more than being called a week before a job. So this was a huge, and also the budget was low, so we needed that time before to get everything right. Jack mentioned production design. We didn't have a lot of money for production design at all. So one of the key things was for us to go out there and find the perfect locations.
Yep.
Ones that are just 99% set, for us, that we just kind of have to, it's like turnkey locations basically.
So were you all really involved in the pre-production process together?
Always, yeah.
Yep. And was a lot of time spent on that before you actually started?
Yeah, we probably spent about 2 months in Pennsylvania before we started production.
Yeah.
All of us. Whether it's just, but not all at once, but like a month before shoot, we were basically down there the whole time, and then a week here and a week there from January to April.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of time spent down there doing that. Alex also helped us with locations in terms of I wanted his input on those. If we go to locations, like okay, I can kind of work with this, and that. This isn't going to work, kind of thing. So
It was certainly helpful. It was
really
greatly helpful.
Yeah.
So
You're making a film and you can have your DP help start working out really, really early. That's what you want.
Yeah. And was it you that did the editing, I think?
I did a first round edit where I assembled the footage, I even synced it, and then I cut it together myself. And we handed it over to an editor. He did a very good job on it. And then I took it and though I liked his version, I thought it should have kind of gone a different way. And so I ended up re-editing that and went through some test screenings, and we re-edited it continuously again. So it ended up being a nice sort of hybrid of this editor is very good, Frank Reynolds. He edited it in the bedroom. It's a great movie, and he's really good to work with. But we ended up I ended up going back in there and changing that stuff.
Okay, and most people who'll be watching this will be indie filmmakers from Sydney, which is a much smaller industry, of course. I just wanted to get maybe one piece of advice from all of you that you could give to our viewers.
Yeah, I mean, I would say if you're a writer, really focus on that. Like crewing is not working. Crewing is great. If you need to pay your bills, that's awesome. But at the end of the day of crewing, you need to go home and write and work on that craft, because you can do that and learn nothing about directing and writing and stuff like that. And production design. Like if a film looks cheap, 90% of the time it's because they didn't pay attention to production design. They didn't have color conform, or they conform colors. They didn't pay attention to that. And I would say those are off the top of my head.
Great.
I'm just going to reiterate and say that pre-production time, use it. Use it. It's your best friend. Use it as much as you can, and really try to get as many shooting days as possible. That really helps as well. Obviously, that's a budget thing, but that's don't if you can shoot for a couple more days, do it. Over something else maybe. I don't know, but pre-production is the biggest for me.
I'd say for me, assemble a good team. Get used to people that you like working with and whose skills complement you and the other people you're working with. Another way to keep costs down, just like Alex said, if you have a good team and they can operate, without one another, it saves time and you get more shooting days if you're more prepared during pre-prep.
Yeah, that's the best one. I take my best. Getting a good team together is the best one.
Okay.
Isn't Blackmagic from Australia?
I don't know.
Yeah. No. They're Australian.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? I'll
I'll
look into that.
Yeah.
But you guys have a pretty cool scene out there. There's a lot of great
Yeah.
films in Australia.
Yeah, there are.
The Animal Kingdom was great. Like, I feel like you have these great little crime thrillers.
Yep.
So we're big fans.
There's also a really good one that's here in Austin called Skin Deep,
Oh yeah.
which I am in.
Oh wow.
And there's, are you guys here? It's still on
playing again?
It's playing
Wednesday.
tomorrow night.
Oh, you know.
Yeah,
Just
we
turn the
wanted to
camera
go.
on,
It was right before
Yeah,
our
yeah, yeah.
screening.
Huh?
Yeah, just turn
On me.
around and ask you
I
about that.
filmed
Yeah.
myself enough. I'm only in one scene, guys.
It was right before our film the other night, so we were busy getting ready for that.
Oh,
we had
you
to-
guys were after us.
Exactly. Right after we saw his
I
arc.
saw
and,
your line.
Yeah. Oh, I hung out with John.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, he's a nice
Oh,
guy.
cool.
He's a
Yeah,
guy.
he's
We
awesome.
had a cigarette at the after party.
All right, our director. And how's the Austin experience been for you in general?
It's been good. It's been
Really
fun.
cool.
Yeah, I mean,
Really cool.
It's been very, very, very busy. We haven't really had. I think I haven't had time to kind of decompress and figure
Yeah.
out what's going on. But
First time in Austin for all three of us, and
Yeah.
we're all impressed. It's been really cool, yeah.
great
Yeah.
food.
Yeah, well, yeah, really good, but really heavy, but
Really,
good.
I haven't exercised or done anything like that since I've been here. It's not good. It's not good. It's gonna be like a detox when I get back.
No.
Yeah. And what are plans for the film from here?
We have a distribution offer on the table, and we're receiving other offers right now. We plan to lock that in before the end of the year and release it in the first 2 quarters of next year.
Great.
No.
All right. Well, thank you so much, guys.
Thank
I
you.
wish you all the best with
Thank
the
you very
films.
much.
So I just have one more thing to add. They just told me some really exciting news. Go ahead.
We're in the middle of a road trip that started in Wichita, Kansas, where we won the Tallgrass Film Festival last week. We had a
Woo!
screening with over 560 people at it.
Wow.
And we then continued the road trip to Denver, to New Mexico, and then into Texas. We hit some national parks along the way, and then we got here to Austin.
Congratulations.
Film Festival.
Yay.
It's been a while. If you don't know, the festivals they feed you a lot of alcohol. So the last 2 weeks have really been they push the immune system.
It's been a lot of fun.
It's been a good time. It's been a good time.
The
but
producer is
man,
not happy
yeah.
with that comment.
Man, the festivals are a lot of fun, but yeah, it is one long just a lot of. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, that's about it. That's all I got to do. That's all I need.
All right. Thanks. Thanks, guys.